and you've met him before. We've talked about this. When you would run into Tupac and you guys interacted, did you have any idea of how big he was going to become in the future?
I mean, he seemed kind of big at the time. You know what I mean? Like, he was pretty big at the time. There was always that kind of energy around him. You know what I mean? Like, yo, there goes Tupac. Like, it was like you'd hear that type of like, yo, Tupac's outside. Like, you know what I mean? And this is like maybe other celebrities saying this type of shit. Did I think he would reach iconic status, I guess, that he ended up reaching? I don't know if you see that while you're in the midst of doing, just chilling with people. So no, I don't know if I saw that. But I definitely saw there was something, something around him, some sort of aura that, can't put my finger on it, but yeah, something that had people just, looking at him, I remember being at this one show, I feel like it was at the Palladium in LA, and like, it was a big ass show. When we came out, Tupac was in like a lowrider with a bunch of gangbanging motherfuckers, and I want to say they was Crips. I think they was Crips. He was with a bunch of Crips at the time.
Well, Big Psych.
This was before Death Row.
Right. Well, Big Psych, who was part of Thug Life, was a Crip.
Okay.
I'd interviewed him, along with the rest of the Thug Life crew, and yeah, he was a real hardcore Crip, and he had been fucking with Tupac for a long time.
Yeah, so, I just remember there was just a lot of attention around him, and I was just looking like, okay, like he really rolling with some real gangbanging mode. Like he's really trying to immerse himself in this LA shit. Like,
yeah, and the conspiracy theories are always going to live on, but the reality is that Tupac threw himself into a situation with a bunch of gangsters who were not rappers. They did not care about publicity. They had a certain level of rules that got him killed. And here's the interesting part. In the interview, you haven't seen this part yet, but after Orlando gets jumped, right, and Tupac threw the first punch and everyone else jumped on him, Keefe D said that him and Orlando were rolling around, and Keefe knew Suge since they were like kids, right, and they had a rapport with each other. He said that Orlando wanted a fade with Tupac. He wanted to just meet up with Tupac and have a one-on-one fight because he felt like he got, kind of jumped and so forth. So they all jump on Orlando. You guys meet up. How was Orlando taking this whole situation?
How was he taking it?
Yeah. I mean, he just got jumped on. I mean, he wasn't seriously hurt.
No, he wasn't hurt like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking it bad. He just said he wanted to have a head up with him.
With Tupac?
Yeah.
And I'm talking to, it was a private conversation. I'm not going to say who it was with, but someone very close to Tupac during that time. And I'm like, all right, but this is ridiculous. Like, Tupac's not going to fight some gangster from Compton. And the guy said, actually, he probably would have. He probably would.
Say, why not?
Tupac probably would have taken that fight. And I'm like, well, Suge would have stopped it. Nah, Suge liked that type of shit. Would Suge have agreed for all this hostility to come to an end with a one-on-one fight? With Tupac and this guy? Suge might have agreed to it too. Tupac was a fighter. He would fight the outlaws and stuff like that if they got mad at each other. Like, they would pull over and fight each other sometimes because just whatever, tempers flare, they become friends afterwards. What I mean? Like, fights would happen. More sometimes just even, with people in each other's crews. That's how they were doing it in their 20s. So had Tupac and Orlando just had that fist fight, none of this would have happened.
And that's some old school shit right there. You see? Like, that's some old school shit. Like, all right, we're going to settle this like men. Me and you, fuck all the bull. You know what I mean? Let's go. But
Yeah.
when you got, you start to inject cowards in the world who, like, nah, shit, I don't want to do that. Like, I'd rather just shoot you from over here. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be up close and personal or have to train or, work out and shit like that. Like, like, I just want to fucking take the path of least resistance,
Yeah. Yeah. But Orlando wanted to fight Tupac. And from what I heard from people very, very close to him, Tupac would have taken that fight. And none of this would have happened.
And it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. That would have been great. Like we all,
Yeah.
If somebody would have just walked away with a black eye or some shit, or a bloody lip or some shit like that, even a broken leg or arm would have been much better than the end result. Because make no mistake about it, we didn't lose just Tupac. Like, many people were killed around this, surrounding this whole thing with retribution and all this crazy shit that happened. Like, that shit sparked a whole domino effect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I interviewed
Biggie. We could say Biggie. Mad people got affected from this.
Biggie got killed. A war broke out in Compton. I remember I interviewed two of the Compton gang unit police officers that said that right afterwards, when it was established that Southside Crips were responsible for the Tupac murder, war broke out. Like 3 people got killed, 11 other people got shot. It was a fucking mess, and it continued on for a while. Yeah. You could say it even continues on to this day. There's probably still animosity between those two crews over what happened.